Hello, this is Tim. This is book 2 for July 2020. We finished the chapter on Masons in the United States, but let's go into other Freemasons of menace. English Freemasonry was unable to continue in its comfortable Edwardian past without being involved in controversy. In the second half of the 20th century, Freemasonry came under attack. The first assault came from the Reverend Walton Hanna, a clergyman of the Church of England, who soon afterwards became a Roman Catholic, chiefly because the Roman Catholic Church was less tolerant than the Church of England toward Freemasonry. In his book Darkness Visible, he attacked the Freemasons, but although he made a few allegations which hinted at Masonic conspiracy, he wrote about attempts to bribe him not to publish the book, and of threats to his publisher. His criticism of the Freemasons was chiefly theological. He argued that the Freemasons' great architect of the universe was not the Christian God, and that therefore Christians, particularly bishops of the Church of England, should not be Freemasons. Darkness Visible and Hannah's next book, Christian by Degrees, greatly annoyed those Anglican clergymen who had become Freemasons. But Hannah did not succeed in weakening Freemasonry, and his books were soon forgotten, perhaps because his arguments were too theological and intellectual. A more threatening and successful attack on the Freemasons was launched in the 1980s by the popular writer Stephen Knight. He claimed that he was exposing Freemasonry as a conspiracy by the Freemasons to help each other against the rest of the world. According to Knight, Freemasons in official positions, having sworn to do this by their fearful Masonic oaths, with the blood-curdling penalties for breaking their oaths, placed their loyalty to their Masonic brothers above their public duties. They help each other to obtain employment and promotion, so that in some organizations, like the City of London, with its livery companies and the governing bodies of the corporations, or the corporation, it is virtually impossible for anyone who is not a Freemason to be appointed to influential positions. Freemasons recognize each other by their secret signs and phrases, and when a Freemason recognizes a Masonic brother who has made a secret sign to him, he will help him instead of doing his duty. Now, I believe that's true. I believe they help each other, but I'm not sure if that's wrong, because a community should help each other. And if your code of conduct, which is really the greatest kind of community, is held together by code of conduct, not skin color, not even blood, not even ethnicity or village type, your code. And if they're helping each other, then you're supposed to do that as a community. So I'm not sure that's wrong. Knight and his supporters assert that a Freemason who is a policeman will allow a criminal to evade justice if the criminal has identified himself as a Freemason by a secret sign. And stories are told of judges who, when trying a case in court, gave judgment in favor of a Freemason who made a secret sign to the judge. The anti-Masons argued that from this, it follows that the enforcement of law and order and the administration of justice is thwarted when policemen and judges are Freemasons. All Freemasons should be compelled by law to identify themselves to the general public, so that their actions can be scrutinized by the public, and the extent of their influence revealed. I've heard if you say I'm just a weary traveler or something like that, when you're in court, you can get off. But if I heard it, then it's probably not a thing anymore. Knight began his campaign to expose the Freemasons in a book, Jack the Ripper, The Final Solution, which he published in 1976 about the murders committed by the killer known as Jack the Ripper, which shocked London in 1888. The murderer, who wrote taunting letters to the police signed Jack the Ripper and claiming to be the murderer, killed 5 or probably 6 prostitutes in the very poor working class district of Whitechapel in the East End of London, and disemboweled them in a manner not dissimilar from the form of killing referred to in the initiation proceedings in Masonic lodges. The murders were committed at night, sometimes in the victim's house and sometimes in the street. The first woman was killed on 31st of August 1881 and the second on the 8th of September. On the 30th of September, two women were killed on the same night within about an hour of each other. The fifth murder was committed on 9 November. It then seemed as if the murderer had stopped, but a very similar type of murder of a prostitute was committed on 18th of July 1889. This was the last of the killings. So I don't know if those numbers mean anything. So check those numbers out, see if they mean anything. Or don't, because then you don't want to go down the rabbit hole. But um, strange things happen, and vulnerable people are sacrificed or used by our society and different societies, the way we're set up, especially when you have a hierarchical society. So we need to get rid of these hierarchies based on physical attributes and maybe even mental attributes if you have physical barriers to keep people from being mentally sound. So if everybody can be intelligent and grow and develop their mind, then you can maybe have some mental attributes where you have hierarchies. But I don't like hierarchies anyway. I don't get them. So maybe just do away with them. Until next time, I want to thank you for your support, and I want to say take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe out here.